So, hello again, welcome to the district of Katajanokka in Helsinki. This time it's tramline number 4, and the reason we start from here is the reason that after creating tramline number 4, this whole district will be covered. The public transport of this district will be ready. Or it will be ready according to the original routes, because most of Helsinki's trams are on special routes at the moment. But I will once again try to create this system with the original routes. So I will have to use several sources. I will have to use an old tram map, I will have to use Google Maps, I will have to use the route map of the local transport authority, and I will need several sources, so mainly I will shut up and build and just click and write and yap a bit less. Some of you might like it, some of you might dislike it. But let's go. The first stop is of course Vyökatu or Jörlelgatan, and like I said, I will need several sources, so I will just click and click and click on different things here, and you will probably not see it. Nevertheless, let's go. It's a tram track and it will start from here. So there we go, it's connected to the existing network here. And we will just need a few more markers to do the connection, and I think it will be right there. That should do it. The following stop is called Merisotilantori or Flotistoriet, and the end stop is around there. Oh no, there is one more stop before it, and that's called Ulkoministeriö or Utrikesministeriet, because that's the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which does have its own stop. Like I said, I'm once again clicking on something around here because I need to find the place for the stop, and this will sadly take time. So, like I said, I will just be quiet and I will just build for most of the time. This is the terminus. And the tram actually goes around this location. Oops, that's not what I meant. Oh, okay. Okay, it doesn't probably look like this, but it doesn't have to look like that again. Once again, I am going for the realism of the stops, not necessarily for the realism of the track, and that makes it look quite awful. But there we go. That's the end loop, and now this means that this full area has been covered. But what happens in the other end? That's a completely different thing, because the line actually, the line I'm creating actually runs through here and all the way through here. And the issue is that there is a massive construction work going on around here, which means that even this line is on an exceptional route, and I am trying to recreate its original route. Now I think we'll have to create a couple of points of interest in here, because there we have the well, let's call it Senatintori. There are a couple of tourist attractions over here, but those are large tourist attractions, so I'll put in 10,000 people over there. That's not the only thing, however. We have the art museum, which is over here, and it also collects a lot of people every day, so that's another point of interest where let's see how this works. That's Ateneo. That's not Bernicia. That's basically these are central tourist attractions of the center of Helsinki. But that's not all, because in here we have an art museum called Amos Rex. Sorry about that. What the fuck? This doesn't really work very well, but that's Amos Rex. Then we're gonna need one additional location for the National Art Museum called Kiasma. It's 10,000 people. Then we're gonna have the Finnish National Music Hall, which is somewhere over there. It's actually over there. So that's gonna be called the Music House. So there really are several locations in here. Well, here we have the Parliament House. So that's also going to have to be added over there. So this really is starting to look like a really interesting place. I'm sorry, like I said, this will be slow. Now, what comes next is the Lasipalati stop, which is a stop basically serving the railroad station, but it's not really that simple because it's also serving a lot of other things. But the stop, nevertheless, is here. We'll rename it. And it will be connected to the network like this. And the tram will run eventually from here to here, but Also, this population may need some changing because we will make it 10,000 because these are really big points of interest. I mean, yes, they are the most famous spots in Helsinki. After Glaspalatset, it's gonna be the National Museum, and luckily that stop already exists because, oh, where is it? Because yeah, well, and there's another actually another great location next to it, because the Finlandia House, one of the most famous locations by Alvar Aalto, is located over here, but this will be a joint bus and tram stop. The bus stop is a bit further away, but I will merge them. So it's written that way. There will be a lot of buses running the same track, and there will be a lot of trams running the same track, but I will treat them as one, because I'm old, because I'm tired, and because I'm lazy. There we go, you had it all in one comment. And the National Museum, of course, has to be given its own point of interest because, well, because it is a point of interest. That's just so sad, but that's the way it is. So as you can notice, creating the traffic in the city center is somewhat, I would say, difficult. And then we'll also add the new point of interest over there and edit it, and that's gonna be the National Museum. So basically all the biggest tourist attractions are in here, and this will cause issues later on if not reacted to accordingly. Now the following stop over here is Hesperian Puisto, or Hesperia Parken, which is both, once again, both a bus stop and a tram stop. And I will once again treat them as one, because eventually the buses will be using the same tracks, and that's the way it is. And as you can see, this will be eventually a very crowded public transport road, as it is in real life. And actually this stretch of road was renovated in the past year, and all of the trams and all of the buses once again were on an exceptional route. We will have to add one more point of interest over here. And this place is the Finlandia House, Alvar Aalto's masterpiece. So basically I am adding population to the city center all the time, because we need these. We need these locations. The people who come here, they come here because of the locations. That's just the thing. And it won't get any easier, because we have the Opera House over here, we have the Natural History Museum somewhere over here. And this will really be a huge area. But the next stop on the way forward will be the Opera House. And this will once again be a very difficult crossing. So I will first build the crossing. There we go. And there we go. There are also turns, but let's not get too serious just yet. Because the Opera House is over here. And we will actually add another. We will actually add another point of interest over there. We'll also need these, but some of the trams are going to turn, so we'll have to rebuild the crossing eventually. At some point we will get to that later on. Like I've said so many times, I have said it so many times, we will get to that later on, because there are so many places where we will get to later on. And like that, and then we'll just add the red flag over there, and that's gonna be the Opera House. And that's just the beginning. I'm afraid this system is going to be so fucked up. I'm not complaining at the moment, because the following stop is... now I have to find a fourth source. From here, like I said, everything is on an exceptional route, and I will have to piece everything together. So the next stop will be Töölönhalli, Töölöhall. And once again I will have to look at, and it's gonna be it's even differently named when it's a bus stop and when it's a tram stop. But I will not give in to this. I will just once again get lazy and build one stop in here. And this is for buses, this is for trams, this is for everything. I could possibly add another point of interest in here. I won't do it. That place does not attract that many visitors. But the Olympic Stadium and Bolt Stadium, which is the home of the biggest football club in Finland, are right next door. So I will just have to once again create points of interest. And this point of interest is called Bolt Arena, which is the football stadium, and that point over there is the Olympic Stadium, and that's much larger. As these are no real stops, I will not give them Swedish-speaking names, but this is a large one. So I'm once again adding and adding and adding points of interest, because shit is happening all the time. Then there is another interesting stop, which is the Kansaneläkelaitos, and that's probably, no, it's not the case, that's probably located somewhere over here. And Kansaneläkelaitos is a huge building designed by Alvar Aalto, the world famous Finnish architect. And he's designed their headquarters, which was opened back in the 50s. I would just have to check the name of the place. It's called Folkpensionsanstalten, but you can't really place the stop over here, or actually can. I will just deal with this shit later, because the stop is in here, the stop is in here, the stop is in there, but nevertheless, yes. As you can see, I bought the beer a couple of hours ago. I'm still on my first day of streaming. These are the same streams that I started when I first started the stream, and I just decided to go get beer and start building more. So basically I'm building tramlines drunk. I hope it doesn't matter. I hope the most important thing is that I'm actually doing this shit. But I kind of enjoy, you know, building tracks, drinking beer, stuff like that. So this section of this tram line and of this road, of this bus line, is currently under construction. There is another exception route on the way, so I will again have to rely on millions and millions of sources to piece this shit together, and I'm doing my best. But let's say it's in there. Well, one of them is in there. I don't know where the actual building is. And then number 4 continues its way to the left in the next big crossing. So this is where we have Döletull, one of the stops. There are several stops with the same name. And I think it's actually written this way, right? Yes, it's right. No, it's separate. Okay, let's put it separate. Done. And the tram line continues that way, but this tram line doesn't continue that way. It's just merging into there, and that seems to be merging quite politely. There. Let's have a look at the route map, which is a completely different question. Like I said, this is, at the moment, it's difficult. It's very difficult to create these lines running this track or running this road, because of all the roadworks. But let's see here. I think I made it, because the next one is Meilahden Sairaala, or Meilan sjukhus, which is over there. Yep, I think I made it. I just have to add the signals over here, and that crossing yields more traffic, so that crossing will have to be kept clear. That crossing also leads more traffic, that crossing also yields more traffic, but Döletull is over here. Then we have Meilan sjukhus, or Meilahden Sairaala. I'm sorry, I always start speaking Swedish whenever I get drunk enough. Because I am bilingual, so that's where we have the Meilahden Sairaala stop. Once again, this is a very familiar area for me, but now there's so much going on in here that I will just have to, like I said, look up the correct route and the correct stops from very many different sources, and I will probably fail in this anyway. Okay, let's move on to the next stop. That's gonna be Meilahden tie, Meilandsvägen, and that is, oh yes, I know this one because there is a major hospital around the area, so that's the stop where I go when I need treatment for my illness. So there. And once again, there's a huge amount of buses and trams going the very same route. So it's gonna be jammed, and I'm going to add the stops accordingly. Then we have the Passiuksenkaari or Passiussvängen, which is that street over there, and the stops are surprisingly on the same side of it. So there. We're reaching the end because that's our destination, and it's come all the way from here through several locations, and actually the fact that the hospital is over here, I will probably have to add another what you call it, point of interest, because this is the biggest hospital in the whole country, and a lot of people visit daily, in addition to the special illnesses they treat only there. So that's where we are, and then we go on to Munksnäs Alleen, and now I'm interested to see where this stop is, because there is a stop in here, there is a stop, oh shit, there's a stop over, basically I will have to put the stops everywhere around this crossing, and there's gonna be one, but the tram will not stop there. Because the buses coming to the center are going to stop there. And I am going to, but I'm going to create the stop anyway, because I will find it ahead of me later on if I don't create it now. So I will create it now. And there we go. There we go. And the tram stop, the tram stop of this same name, I mean the whole crossing bears the same name. But that is a bus stop. And the tram stop bearing the same name will be over here. I've taken the tram several times from there too. And then we'll just build the connection, and then we'll just delete it. I think there is a way to do this if we go to stations, and the station is called Matti. Let's see. No, that's not the way to do it. The way to do it, if I've learned anything, is okay, we'll have to delete it first. And yes, and that's the way, and then we'll go there and open station in track editor. No, that's not my thing. Can I actually do it like this? And now is it part of the same station? I mean, well, let's see. Let's see what will come of it. Because the next stop is called Lajalainaukjor Breidviksplatsen, and that will be before the turn. It's gonna be here. There we go. Done. I actually don't know why I added the second stops, because they're not needed, they're not required. I mean, it could stop on the other side of this crossing. It doesn't. Anyway, it exists. So, final stops of the route. What's this called? Tiilimäki, Tegelbacken, and these are the same thing. So I will just merge the stops into here. There we go. This is not what it really is, but I will just try to make things a bit more simple than they really are. There. And then we put in the signals. There we go, and there we go, and there we go. Once again, there we go. Because there is even a bus stop in here, but then the final stop of this line is going to be in here, and it's really called Saunalahden tie Basteviksvägen. And the real spot of it is just before the first crossing, which is, it's like this actually. Alright. Done. And then we build the track over there. And does it turn from the next turn? No, it doesn't. It goes all the way until there, where the Tiilimäki stop is, or would be, unless I created it the way I did. But now this loop is complete, and tram number 4 can start its service. Oops, that's wrong. It's going to be on that side. Up, that's, and yep, it's ready. So, 3 millions to construction. But how will I build a route which stops every 7 minutes? This is going to be another question. And I would like to go back to the station editor, because yeah, it's in the mid. No, it's not. Let's see. Let's see if it actually is possible to create a new line using that stop. It's the same $3.5 or euros or whatever. You name the price, but the route, yes, it's not possible yet. So I will have to do the same magic I used here. That's, oh yeah, this is the way to do it. So there, now that should be done with, and now I should be able to create the line which I intend to go. Okay, still not correct. There. Still not correct. I am getting frustrated by this. There. There, and now it should work. Now it works. Great. But nevertheless, we'll go back here to start it from. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. And that's what I wanted to do. And that's what I wanted to do. So here we go. Line number 4 is very well on the way to be created, and this is the original line number 4, and not the one which is currently on the exceptional route. Unfortunately, and I think I nailed it. I mean, I'm not sure. I really am not sure. That distance seems a bit too long, but on the other hand, there are no stops, which I have missed. So that's the right stop for this tram, and that's the right stop for this tram, and there we go. A 7-minute interval on this line is not going to require that many trams, I think. But well, like I said, nevertheless, it requires some work. But now that I have this road and this route taken, creating future lines is going to be much easier, because there we have it. That's done for. And oh my god, all the lines are opening here. I need something easier. And there. If we buy tram number 4 and oops, my keyboard is also a bit malfunctioning. When if we put it on line number 4, that's 56 minutes, so we have to buy tram number 5. 28 minutes, looks much better. And now it's 1840 and we need more. I'm surprised that the biggest issue with the tram lines is buying the trams, because building the lines is cheap, but actually running them is the most expensive thing here. $9.20. I think I need one or two more. Oh. Whoops. Come on. Sometimes when I play enough of this, my keyboard will start malfunctioning. No, we need one more tram, and that's 11, so 8 trams are needed to keep this route operational. Right, that's a full 7 minutes. So, that was line number 4. And let's see what I will be up to tomorrow, because there will be obviously another tram line. Until then, bye!